Escape from the Impossibin is an interesting episode. Both the A and B story are trying to tell the exact same thing, but only the A story really hits it just right. So, the premise of the story is, this is the aftermath of Bradford being revealed to be an agent of F.O.W.L, and Scrooge has doubled down on security. He's like, okay, Bradford knows everything about me, Bradford buzzard, so I'm going to create new security measures. I've got some of the most demented minds ever, some of the most brilliant minds, to create new security measures for the bin. And I'm going to have Della and Louie, who are like the craftiest, they can see all the angles. I'm going to have them come in, and they're going to try to find a way to escape the bin. Alright, so any holes they find, F.O.W.L will find. So, I'll make changes there. Then we cut to the mansion. The mansion team of Beakley, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby, as well as Donald, who's finally here. They're getting ready to prepare the mansion for, want to beef up the defenses there, and Beakley wants Webby to help prepare Huey and Dewey because, they're the least combat capable. Actually, all three of them, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, are the least combat capable, let's be honest. So, Webby is going to give them a sneak attack. They won't know when it's coming or whenever. And also, a special shout out to Webby this episode, who was in rare form. I
am Webby, bringer of death.
I mean, really, she was great. She was great. We saw exactly what Webby was capable of, how dangerous she is compared to the others. It was great in that fight with Beakley. All of it, from a Webby standpoint, was just really great. She'd been sort of underused this season. Mostly, her role had been to serve for comedic purposes, or these sort of over-the-top, good, love and friendship bit, which is fine, but it was wearing a bit thin. It's always nice to remember that Webby can more than likely kill a full-grown man with her bare hands. Loved it. Loved it. This is where it sort of falls apart. So, the Scrooge and Della and Louie story at the bin is actually really good. Over the course of the story, we see Della and Louie find ways out of each trap, and Scrooge becomes increasingly frustrated because the idea is this is the best he can do, alright? And Bradford knows everything about him, his strengths, his weaknesses, how much money he's got, and he's known him for years. So, if these two can figure it out, then Bradford can easily figure it out. F.O.W.L can easily figure it out. And there's a great scene.
We can beat it, so can Bradford, and then he'll beat us.
Please, you're Scrooge McDuck.
And what if that's not enough this time?
Scrooge learns, okay, everything can be alright. We can do this as a family. And that's great. Then we get to the B plot, and it becomes a Huey and Webby story in the beginning, and then it becomes a Webby v. Beakley story. So I think this should have just been the Beakley story. Beakley freaking out and pushing Webby too hard on Huey. And because that does seem to be what's happening. When, the final attack happens, Huey, who's been pretty much pushed to his limit here on how much he can take, he actually gets physically hurt, and Webby wants to say, okay, I think we're done here. Beakley's like, no, finish him off. And then that other story comes in, it's about Beakley learning that, hey, it's gonna be okay. So they both have to learn it's gonna be okay. The problem is, Beakley comes out of nowhere with this. She's pretty normal the entire episode. There's no gradual progression. The only person who gradually progresses is Huey's stress level. So I felt maybe we should have had Beakley pushing Webby on, and Webby sort of ignoring that, hey, Beakley might be going a bit too far. But we don't get that. But this still was a great episode. There was a great twist at the end. Some great jokes. I love Scrooge's facial expressions in this episode. They were great. There's a great line from Della about Gyro. It's a really good episode, but that B story wasn't quite working. I did like how it tied together, though. So anyway, with that in mind, let's bring this video to a close here. If you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.
If F.O.W.L wants the rest of those artifacts, they'll have to contend with the greatest family of adventurers and treasure hunters of all time.
So the race is on.
And they're not ready for us.
Not even close. Ugh. Okay.
Whoa!